Nice.
Yeah. Good stuff.
No, right? So,
right on.
Yeah. So, no, things are going great. But where this time of year, we kind of see a downturn for a moment, with the holiday season and everything going on. But it's been great.
Yeah. That Trump economy's picking right up.
Right back, to throw that in there, didn't
right
you?
where it left back off,
So good things coming up and coming around. We got a lot happening here at Gruber. Again, Gruber Motors. Congratulations, they finally hit 1 million
subscribers. Yeah.
Yes. So that's going strong, going well.
Whenever they get that plaque, look for the unveiling of it on their channel.
Yeah. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, he should bring it over here too. Rub off some of that good luck. And,
I know, right?
Yeah,
bring it on over. But yeah, so we got kind of a different type of topic today.
Yeah,
People
what is all this about today?
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about taxes.
Okay,
and how it affects businesses and more in line with the tax deductions on the 179.
Right. That's not the only thing we're talking about, though.
Nope. We got some other things coming up. So, So what do you want to tease?
Well, no, we're going to talk about what does it mean.
What does it mean?
Right.
Exactly.
You see the little emblems at the bottom of the website, and it talks about ISO 9001, and it talks about TAA and BABA compliant. And what do those mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What do they mean? Because there are a lot of people, they don't know. Maybe if you're in our industry, you might know what those are because they are kind of some common terms.
Right.
But for those of you that may not know, then that's what we're going to do. Kind of hit up on that, talk about it a little bit.
Right.
Hey, Harry just chimed in there. Hey, guys, have a good show. Thank you, Harry. We appreciate it. Maybe one of these days you want to join us.
Right.
So.
He has joined us before.
Yeah, it's been a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably a year.
Yeah.
Right?
Helicopter.
Oh, no. No. Don't even do it.
Do that for Harry.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
So let's jump right into this whole tax issue. Nobody likes paying taxes, right? And there is some tax relief for business owners.
Yes.
And it's under that 179, Section 179 deduction.
Okay.
And basically what that states is that businesses can fully expense some of their expenditures. And property that they have to run their business and take a tax credit on.
Right. And I know that there are other, opportunities for businesses, depending on who they hire. They can hire from certain programs and get credits for a portion of wages, right?
Correct.
I mean, there's all sorts of different things out there, depending on the kind of business you have, if you can take advantage of them. But very important to utilize whatever will make you competitive.
Yeah, and Jesse, if you want to pull up picture number 1, it's kind of a graph that shows this 179 tax deduction, which is the most common that's out there that people do use in the industry. So this is Section 179 deduction chart. So you can see there your maximum deduction is 1.16 million. If you got a business, that's that large.
Right.
You got your phase out threshold that begins at 200 or 2 million. 2.89 million. I can't
talk
today.
That's all right.
So then you got eligible property, and that's going to be your tangible personal properties, machinery, vehicles, office equipment, software. And that's where our product would come into play, correct?
Right.
The racks, the brackets, shelves, cabling. These things can all depreciate over time and save you money on your taxes.
Right. Exactly.
So there is requirements there. They must be used more than 50% of the business. And I almost guarantee everybody's server room and all this equipment is pretty much used for that. I don't see a lot of businesses out there using it for personal use as much as they do in the business. So, and then you have in-service requirements. Property must be put into service during the tax year. So you can't buy the previous year and hold on to it for 3 or 4 years and then put it in the service. It's got to be within the same year.
Right. Right, because there are limitations on how much can be deducted. So it's kind of if you can't use it now, you can't use it at all.
Correct.
Yeah.
There's a bonus depreciation. It's allowed in addition to the Section 179, which is 80% in 2023, may come reducing here in future years as laws change. We'll get more into that bonus in a little bit because we have some information on that as well. And then you have income limitations. Deduction cannot exceed taxable business income. Excess can be carried forward.
Okay.
So that's kind of nice to have that in your back pocket there, for tax purposes. Applicability to new and used. This is kind of cool because you can go out and purchase used equipment, but it's new to your business and facility.
Right.
So then at that point in time, even though it's not new equipment, you can still get the deduction and, be able to depreciate that over time.
That makes
So
sense.
you don't have to always buy brand new,
Right.
but most of our equipment's pretty much brand new.
Right. And these are tax, for our customers, anything that they buy from us potentially,
Sure.
because they're using that, could be
depreciated for tax deduction,
Right.
For operation of business. So, this is kind of basic, and I'm assuming most people that, are in business, their accountants know this information, but
Right.
maybe they don't. Maybe there's something here that they've missed before when they're in their accounting phase.
Well, and like I said, all the different kinds of programs that are put on by, cities, counties, and states, as well as the federal government, are things that, look, a good accountant is worth their weight in gold.
Yeah.
Also, do your research as well, because there's opportunities out there that are new and emerging opportunities.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
To save money.
Sure. In every year, you have these different tax codes and revenues come to play, right?
Right.
So it's good to just get a refreshing course every year on what's taking place out there. The bonus depreciation I was talking about is part of Section 168K. That is 100% bonus depreciation. Part of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act applies to qualified property, including communications and IT equipment. This incentive allows for companies to deduct the full cost in the first year of service.
Okay.
So that's not so much as depreciated over time, but you can actually get a bonus incentive to deduct that full cost within the first year of service. Though the bonus percentage typically, though, is set to gradually service. So there is opportunity there that you could get that, 100% right off to begin with, or you have an ability to be able to depreciate it over time,
Okay.
depending on what you might have or need. Other tax credits are available out there. Is research and development.
Right.
That is a big one because they want people in business to continuously do R&D.
Right.
Keep things flowing. So you see some information out there. There's a credit that covers a range of development activities, including systems integration, cloud-based data solutions. We may not have had that, say, 20 years ago.
Right.
So they are continuously updating this as we go. Also, they give you a deduction on research and development for cybersecurity enhancements.
Okay.
So, that's relatively new
Sure.
in our industry.
Right. And it promotes, a direction that they want to see businesses going, because really, all the cyber threats and everything that are posed, because businesses are in the United States to begin with, we're a target to begin with, makes it a more, secure country by promoting that expenditure and those hardening of IT defenses, right?
Yeah, and it just helps to promote that from within, the infrastructure.
Right.
So if you're doing it at the base and ground level, at the business level we are, then that security will actually reach much further across a larger band,
Right.
as a whole. Let's see, energy efficient equipment incentives. This is big because, we talk about this, saving energy, finding ways to save money along the road. So they do give you some incentives for, these energy saving devices within your facility.
Gotcha.
And then, like you had brought up before, you have state level incentives and sales tax incentives. I think a lot of people realize that if you're a reseller, you can potentially, not have to pay sales tax.
Right.
And so you can go ahead and get that certification.
Yeah, we run into that a lot with our customers, depending on how, their use case for our materials and whether it's going into a build that's actually getting sold to somebody else, or an installer.
Yeah.
Right. So they're reselling all of our stuff, and I'm surprised everybody doesn't take advantage of that, but
they don't, though.
We really
we
have
run into
to.
that. Yeah.
We really have to pursue some of our customers to get that information. I mean, we don't want them paying more tax than they need to either.
Yeah, and the other side of that too is sales tax does fluctuate from state to state and sometimes into counties and even different regions. So
Right.
that's something to take into account. And then you can also have areas where sales taxes doesn't apply until they reach a certain amount of actual revenues or sales based upon,
Right.
the chart that's
Right.
for that particular governing body. So
Makes sense.
just keep an eye out on those sales taxes because you might be paying the sales tax when you don't have to, and you can get that deduction
Right.
on there. Let's see here. There's accelerated depreciation for computer and telecommunications equipment. This is kind of more leaning towards our industry and what's available for people out there. The IRS allows companies to depreciate computer and telecommunications equipment over 5 years. Companies may combine this with Section 179 or bonus depreciation for additional cash savings. So not only are they saying that, hey, you can take this depreciation over this time period, but you also might have that bonus incentive as well that is available to use too,
Right.
or
Right.
even under the 179 deduction.
Right.
So you get these different layers that may give you opportunity to be able to have, savings in your tax load.
It's important in manufacturing too. I mean, you look at like the new plants that are being put up, and they were granted certain tax concessions as well because it's just good for the economy. It the taxes on one for doing a thing, whatever that thing is, may be offset by the increased activity by what they're doing, right?
Sure.
So they generate revenue, a revenue stream that exceeds the break that they get.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and you made a great point. A lot of these tax incentives that we see out there and these things, it helps to promote growth,
Right.
So why not take advantage of that and help your own business grow,
Right.
with that. So anyway, that's my little bit on taxes.
There you go.
Just to educate people out there and let you know, hey, there are incentives out there. Take note of those because it might be, be a nice healthy savings there for you and your business.
Right. And I think it's great.
So if you want to pull up picture number 2, we're going to start talking about some of the what is that, going on here. We're going to talk about a little bit is ISO certification. This happens to be our certification certificate that we have here at Gruber. So what is ISO?
Quality management.
Quality management. But ISO certification is quality management based upon a global scale.
Right.
So this is recognized globally, not just here within the United States.
There you go. And so our scope of certification is electrical and electrical manufacturing of low voltage category copper assemblies, fiber optic assemblies, and metal data communication products.
Yeah.
So basically our wheelhouse.
Our wheelhouse, exactly. So
Yep.
ISO stands for International Organization of Standardization. Didn't know I could say that. Whoa.
Yeah.
Usually I get tongue-tied on those types of things.
You did then.
Right?
Sorry.
So again, it's to ensure quality, safety, efficiency, reliability, and it's just a really nice certificate to have.
Sure. It just shows you're serious about
It
quality.
does. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. So,
Which we are, and that's why we, in addition to this, I mean, all Gruber manufactured products come with a lifetime warranty,
yeah,
which
we do.
speaks to our commitment to providing our customers with the top-notch, top-tier product.
Yeah, and to be quite honest with you, I know for me personally, I've been going on here for it's been 10 years now that I've been here, and I've had one issue where we had to use that warranty program, and I'm glad it was there to help out the customer.
Sure.
But out of 10 years, one experience with that should say something about the quality of our products.
Yeah.
So
It's good stuff.
yeah. So looks like Pete chimed in there. We're very proud of our ISO certification. We are, because it does take a lot to get there. This isn't just a simple form,
No.
and then you got to keep up those standards and keep all of that in place.
Right. And it's a commitment to quality. It's not just a one-time snapshot thing. It's an ongoing commitment to having that reputation, having that mindset in an organization.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly, especially safety. You know, something we don't talk enough, I think, about is our safety. We have a really good safety record here at Gruber. And to be a manufacturer, I mean, we have all these different environments throughout. And I know we've talked about this before,
Right.
but man, we're going from a situation where we're in a metal manufacturing plant, right?
Right.
Where we have machinery, you know, and lasers and all sorts of things going on, and
Right.
debris
Right.
from the scraps of metal and stuff, to scenarios where we're into a cable assembly house.
Right.
You know, so now we
And
got a different environment
power,
altogether.
Yeah. Lithium
High
power.
voltage.
High voltage, power batteries, backups.
Yeah.
Our Gruber Motors, GMC.
Gruber Motors is a good example,
Yeah.
especially dealing with electrical in the way that they do over there.
Right.
You know, so that speaks volume to safety, you know, in regards to that. So
100%.
thank you, Gruber, for keeping everyone safe. We
Yes.
appreciate it. Don't want to see anyone get hurt out there.
No.
But there are some other benefits from this ISO certification.
What are they?
Well, you know, as it states here, improves credibility and trust.
Right.
You know, because it is trusted certification out there. Also, it increases marketability.
Sure.
You know, so people look for these things, these quality items when they're out there.
Right. And it's at the forefront of our website. I mean, it's right on the front page. We proudly proclaim it.
Yeah.
It's there, and, you know.
Yeah, but
When you click on the logo, that certificate comes up.
it does. And it just goes to shows that we are continuously, because we've had this certification for many years,
Right.
but we are continuously, you know, taking a look back at it and taking a look at our safety and taking a look at, you know, the product and the quality. So we know that the quality control is there.
Right.
So it keeps us on our toes, right?
It does.
So,
Yep. And like I said, it's a baseline. It's a bedrock principle,
Yeah.
you know, for the quality of what we do. And it just tells the world that that's where we're at.
yeah. We are here, USA made, which leads us to our next, you know,
There we
a
go.
little bit of information. If you want to pull up number 3, and we'll start with the TAA side of things. And what is that? What is TAA compliancy mean? And this was taken right off our website. So, Mark, what is TAA compliancy?
Trade Agreements Act,
There we
which
go.
is a group of countries that have agreed to certain standards, and they therefore form an inner alliance that complies with the agreement, and they're trading partners.
Sure.
Right. So certain labor practices, material production practices, all those come into play. And if you know, it's a TAA compliant country, that's a component of a lot of contracts out there.
It is, especially when it comes to federal government and federal procurement.
Right.
That is going to be a standard that's out there. Government agencies are required to buy TAA compliant products and services, making it mandatory for vendors targeting federal contracts, just like
Right.
he brought up the contract information.
Right.
So that is important that we take a look at that and understand what that means.
Right.
You know, so basically, it's like you said, these countries come together. We decide, hey, we're going to hold everyone to a set of standards.
Right. And they're countries with which we have trade agreements. So, I mean, each country is going to have a little bit of a different thing, but these are open trade agreements that encourage, you know, a lot of spend on both ends, so that it's not a one-way transaction, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And these other countries have products that maybe we don't have availability to here within the United States.
Right.
So it's nice to be able to say, hey, we don't manufacture this here in the United States, but
Right.
guess what? They do over in, you know, Germany or whoever it might be.
Right.
You know, maybe our neighbors up north, Canada. You know, Canada, But there are some common non-TAA compliant countries. So there are some out there that we kind of like take and avoid, I guess you'd say.
Right.
And those are going to be like China, Russia, India. Who's else on this? Brazil, Indonesia, Malaysia, South Africa, Thailand.
Yeah.
I mean, so there are some countries that are not part of that agreement.
Yeah. And it's simple for us, you know, we're looking at it from a a mutually beneficial perspective. And I know India surprises me on that list.
Yeah, I was surprised too.
Yeah.
When I pulled that up.
But, maybe it has to do with, not being able to come to an agreement with, with a formal trade act, because, some of these countries on that list are major carbon emitters and things like that.
Sure.
And they produce greenhouse gases in excess of
where we feel the regulation should be.
Who knows? I mean, I'll have to take a look at that and see why they're not a part of it. India does surprise me. South Africa surprises me, but maybe that's just because of their history. Maybe that's just something that.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be nice to look up and understand why some of those countries aren't.
Right.
But we do know that we can purchase from those countries.
Oh, sure, and we do.
But, this is kind of one of those areas where, it's kind of a red flag. Hey, time out. Stop. Take a look at what you're purchasing before you buy.
Right.
Just double check your source and from there.
Yeah, buying habits are important. You change your buying habits and in a macro level in the country, and it can promote change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who knows? Maybe, we'll see some of these countries that come up to standard with the rest, and maybe they'll be added to the list.
Right.
There's always room for improvement and looking for more sources out there for the products that we do need.
And it's it's an important attribute. It's something that we see a lot of when we get requests from customers saying, is it TAA compliant, right?
Yeah.
And in essence, it's kind of code for, is it made in China or not?
Yeah, right. That's the way we look at it.
Right. That's the kind of the way we interpret it, because if people want import cables and they don't have that requirement, it can be done.
Yeah.
But we also have very economical TAA solutions.
We do.
Yeah.
And almost every day, I think I run into scenarios where somebody does ask that question. And then the other scenario, what's the country of origin? We get asked that quite often.
Right.
So we try to hold ourselves to those standards.
Right. I agree.
So yeah, now the next one's a hot topic for you, right?
BABA.
BABA.
Build America, buy American.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right. We are a USA manufacturer. We strongly are very proud of ourselves
Made
here in America.
The USA.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, that's not how the song goes.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Made.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Don't leave, please. Sorry.
Yeah, his singing voice isn't quite right today, right?
It's not quite right ever. I'm loud and proud in my car, but that's just audience of one.
Your car?
Yeah, my car. I'm to and from work.
He sings in his Pacer. We get it. He's got the lime green Pacer out there from 1978.
I start the little bit of self-deprecating stuff, and then you just got to pile on. Why is that? That's not cool.
Well.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
You cry a little tear.
Yeah.
But what is BABA? Come on.
Yeah, it's American-made products. So like for example, our Cat 6, our Cat cables in general, our wire supplier, which you've met Steve Spoons on here before, is Quabbin out of Massachusetts. All the wires made here.
Yep.
The metal in the wire is mined here, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it goes deep into the core components of what we use to build everything, and then it's built here. The cables are made here. So it's and there's certain percentage requirements of hard materials like rare, like metals and things like
rare
that.
Rare earth materials versus polyurethanes, chemicals, things like that.
Right. Metals have a certain percentage requirement. I think it's 100. Don't quote me, but I remember reading something like that. And then there are other components that have to be a certain percentage. And then the entire construction of the unit, and it depends on what it is. So
correct.
Something can have a lower percentage of U.S. made components as long as the sum of the parts is majority USA made.
Yeah.
And it depends on what the product is as to the classification. Because they do separated out into like wood products. They have metal products. Then they have all those separated out in different categories, and then different compliance requirements for it to be declared that.
Yeah.
It just, we comply here.
Do.
Yep.
And the good part is, you have to have this compliancy for all federally mandated projects. It has to be there.
Right. Well, it'll be spec'd in if whether it's a government contract or somebody, a business that only wants to use American made products.
Sure.
We have that as our feather in our cap.
Yeah, this legislation came in for this, 2001?
Legislation? Yeah.
Yeah.
You catch me sometimes there,
I know.
Dotson. They came in, you mean the Build America?
The act itself, yeah.
Right.
I think it was
Congress.
passed in Congress in 2001, so it's been around for a few years now.
It's been around.
And it's really there to be able to say, hey, let's support America.
Right.
Really, build the foundation of American ingenuity, American labor, just American products, and just really to help support each other along this and enhance, what we have.
Right. And it simply is a government way to create a market for product that was being largely manufactured or partially manufactured overseas. And so by mandating business or government entities with certain functionalities, require that VABA certification, that created the market to make it cost effective to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Because people go cheap. That's
do.
why Walmart's around, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes, again, I got to say this, I've said it before. I will apologize all day for the pricing versus quantity.
Quality.
Yeah. Quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Quality. There's just something to be said for a quality product. And that's what we have here at Gruber Industries. We are a USA manufacturer. We're TAA compliant.
Right.
We follow BABA, and there's a lot of other factors that we do hold ourselves to those standards.
Right. And so, byproduct of that, because what does it mean to the customer is like with the quab and wire, it outperforms the specs for that category. So
Correct.
when something's classified Cat 6 or 6A, this wire outperforms it. And
they did that on purpose too.
Sure.
They went out there and they said, hey, we're going to build a category 6 cable, and we are going to make sure that this can run up to 550, 600 megahertz instead of a standard of 250.
Right. And they take that and take attenuation, which is how much loss there is over distance, and it gets a little bit farther, and it's just a better, superior product.
Yeah.
The quality of that has never ceased to impress me. I'm impressed every time
That's a great cable.
Get into it with them.
And you just know when you feel that cable, even the jacket has a different feel to it.
Right.
And it's just,
And we're working on another project that we'll probably be able to tell you about in a show pretty soon here.
Yeah.
But using quab and cable and partnering up and producing a premium patch cable that is going to be second to none in the industry.
Nice.
Yep. I'm excited.
Well, these shows go by so fast.
They do.
We're almost there. Speaking of quality really quick, those of you we could probably get some audio quality of Mark here singing in his Pacer one morning, and we can record that for you.
What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
I know, right?
Yep. So next week we'll have our show, and then the following week is Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving is coming up around the corner.
So we should probably have our Thanksgiving show next week because we won't be doing it on Thanksgiving.
On that Thursday, unless we
going to
bump it. We can pre-record it, but they're not going to be here to throw it on the air.
Right. That's true.
How about next week? We're going to do a Thanksgiving show.
We'll
be a week ahead and just prepare for that.
There you go.
And I think just to tell a little bit, I think we're just going to try and do something where maybe we go around and say thanks to the folks around the company.
We could do that.
Get ourselves
Yeah.
We'll noodle it. We'll make up something
we'll
fun.
Figure it out.
Have fun with it. So subscribe, share
this podcast. And we appreciate all of you for being here today. We're going to check out now. So for now, I'm Mark Beach.
I'm John Dotson.
Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.